What's a happening, YouTube? This is John, nerding out with cards, and I'm coming at you with another video because I received a new Ozzie Smith card, making that 872 for my collection. And I also received another card, although kind of tying into my video response to High Pop Professor, it's a double. So with the new edition, it also made me think of some other cards I had in my collection, and so I just wanted to show them off because that's a great excuse. I'm going to start off with the double first, and 1996 Topps. It's not uncommon for people to collect, the first card and then the last card of a player's career. And I have been, search around eBay every once in a while, and this one came up at a great price. Got it for less than the grading costs, and it's an assigned PSA 10, new label, so that's how you know it's a real 10, right? But yeah, look at it. Ozzie Smith's bookend, rookie card, last card. Great stuff. Like I said, if I'm going to display stuff at some point in time, these will go great together. So figured, shoot, pick it up. Why not? Now, the new edition, right? So I've had this card before, and it's a 1992 card. I don't know much of the history or distribution behind it, but you see where it says RBI, and it's got Ozzie Smith and Cal Ripken Jr. The back, nothing special, just says RBI. But I've had this card for a long time, and like I said, back in 2023, I was going on TCBD and adding cards to my checklist. Well, I'm able to cross one off my checklist, because here's the Cal Ripken Jr. Ozzie Smith voting card. Now, what do you mean voting card, right? And it looks like a postcard kind of a thing. And I guess what they wanted you to do is vote for the shortstop who you feel is the best, right? You check the box, send it in. I'm not really sure what the incentive was behind that. But luckily for me, this one did not get sent in. Got posted on the eBay. And you know who I was going to vote for. Ozzie, of course. Now, if you think that Cal Ripken Jr. is a better shortstop, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and argue with you, right? What Orioles fan would have rather had Ozzie Smith? I would hope none, right? Because he had a great one. What Cardinals fan would rather have Cal Ripken Jr.? I would hope none, because we had a great one. So it is what it is. And I know some Orioles fans here on the YouTube. I'm going to post their channels down in the description below. Gives them a notification that this posted. Maybe they'll like it. But this got me thinking, right? These Ozzie Smith, Cal Ripken Jr. cards for so many years. Ozzie Smith was patrolling shortstop in the National League. Cal Ripken Jr. was patrolling shortstop in the American League. Very different players, in my opinion, style, physique, and what have you. And yeah, Cal Ripken Jr. Moved on to third base later on in his career. Don't really care about that. But if you remember my Ozzie Smith collection video, there was a kid down the street. He was a big Cal Ripken Jr. fan. And so these cards really kind of stick out to me. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to show some other Ozzie Smith cards that also feature Cal Ripken Jr., right? So you've already seen the RBI cards. And this one's really cool because it's a food issue, right? Back in the day when they used to do that. But French's, you got Ozzie and Cal Ripken Jr. It's from back in 1992. It's a non-licensed card, but it's still really cool because it's got two great shortstops on the same card. What about this, Upper Deck 1993, this like scratch off card. You got Ozzie and Cal. Really cool. I picked this up, oh, I don't know how long ago now. You know, probably off the eBay 20 years ago or something. But yeah, really cool stuff. It's got Ozzie and Cal on it. 1994. Yep, 1994. Sports Flicks. Really great cards. See, it's got Ozzie and then Cal. You know, you do the whole back and forth thing. And this is like a commemorative all-star card. You know, one of 10,000 back in that day. That was big deal. Really cool card, you know. And I'm going to get into 1995. I mean, 95, now that I think about it, has some real banger cards, you know what I mean? And this is a childhood copy of this card. You know, the edges are pretty crappy and there's creases and stuff like that. But Fleer, you got Ozzie on the back. I'm going to show that one first because, well, he's my guy. You know, National League All-Star. And then you got Cal, the American League All-Star. And it's really cool because it shows both of them playing shortstop. You know, I'm a defensive guy. You know, some of the other ones show them batting. So, we'll do this one right here. And this one actually kind of begs the question, right? So, you know, you got Ozzie and Cal right here. 95, Topps All-Star. But, you know, Ozzie was an All-Star like every year from 1980 till he retired, except for one. But Topps stopped making All-Star cards of him. Was it like All-Star fatigue or something? You know, because he didn't have a 1991, 1992. He didn't have a 1993 All-Star card, even though, like, I know that he was the in the starting lineup for the 92 All-Star game. And you know how cards are always the year after, right? Kind of thing. But it was Barry Larkin, and I didn't really understand that. Still don't. I mean, it's just less cards for me to have. But this one was really cool because it wasn't just an Ozzie card. It was Ozzie and Cal. So that one's really cool. Sports Flicks for the win again. You got Ozzie, Cal, this double take card. This one's a little more difficult than the other one. There we go. Got it. Like I said, real banger of a card. And now, you know, from like my last video, or not my last video, but you know, my VR to High Pop Professor, but Dufex. I love Dufex, right? And so I'll show this one first, I guess. But you got Ozzie right here on this 95 Pinnacle. And these cards are amazing, right? And then you got Cal. And you're like, yeah, that's cool, fire design. But I'm showing you two different cards. And I'm showing you this side of each card because on the reverse, you know, you got this Dufex design going on. And man, the camera just doesn't do this justice, right? So on these cards, you have Ozzie. So this is the non-Dufex side of Ozzie. And then you have the Dufex side of Cal. And then on this one, the Cal is not Dufex on this side, but Dufex of Ozzie on this side. And like I said, the camera, you know, whether it's my lighting, my phone, me, I don't know, just doesn't do these cards justice. Like, these are freaking sweet. Like, you're not getting the depth of this on camera. That's for sure. Yeah, these are definitively my favorite Ozzie and Cal combo cards. So yeah, I mean this one should be pretty short, right? I got number 872 of my Ozzie Smith collection in. Yeah, I'm a dupe. I bought this. It is what it is. It fits great in my collection. So, I like having that bookend uh, slabbed. It is what it is. But then, like I say, this is just a tremendous excuse, reason, whatever, to flip through my binder and look for all the Ozzie and Cal cards that they share together. It's one of those things like Ozzie's my guy. I'm a homer, but these combos cards are a great way for me to also collect some of the other greats. Cal Ripken Jr., I remember him breaking Lou Gehrig's record. The guy was a phenomenal fielder, a phenomenal hitter. Yeah, he moved over to third base and continued to be phenomenal because, well, that's just what he is. You know what I think of Ozzie. And so, yeah, these cards are really cool for me to have other players. And there's other combo cards that I'm excited to feature at some point in time, like Ozzie with Ryan Sandberg. Just kind of gross because he's a Cub, but I know there's people that are Cubs fans, and it's really cool, right? It's a moment in history, you know. But anyway, I'll save that for another video. I hope you liked all these Ozzie and Cal cards. To my Orioles fans out there, I hope you like them. Do you have some of them? And then at the same time, like your favorite player, especially like if you collect them a lot, do they have multiplayer cards? What are some of like your favorites? Because there was a connection with that player. Maybe they played the same position. Maybe they were, both great hitters. I don't know, whatever your reason may be. So thank you for watching yet another one of my videos, and you all have a good one.